Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got a good one in store between the Chicago Cougars and the Tennessee Titans. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
We welcome all of you to Nissan Stadium on the banks of the Cumberland River in downtown Nashville, Tennessee. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Chicago Cougars and the Tennessee Titans. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, we take a look at this Titan ball club entering play. They come in feeling good after back-to-back victories. On the other side of the field for our visitors here, they've certainly found their groove of late, winners of 5 in a row.
And I think the sky's the limit for this team. They're playing the best football that they've played in a long time.
Getting toward the halfway point of the NFL season, Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. So the Titans set to go to work for the first time. Ryan Tannehill will be orchestrating the offense, the top 10 pick back in 2012.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
Sony Michel, his first carry. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. Offensive starters, here they are. And Delaney Walker, Charles, it's a guy that you and I said we wanted to discuss a bit.
Yeah, and we should, because remember, he came out of college as a wide receiver, so he's one of the early guys to move from a wide receiver position to tight end and still run routes as if he were a wide receiver. An excellent target.
On second down, Michel. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up third down. So now an early 3rd and 10 here on their opening drive. Now Tannehill. And the throw there going to be incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
Fielded just inside the 30. They'll net only 35 here following a 43-yard boot, 8-yard return. And out will come the offense as they take over. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Hey, you got 3, three down.
Pilot, 64, weak.
Check 15.
Hey, team 6, go.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down. And now a look at the offense for Chicago.
And they're coming off a good win on the road last week, but they do know that they have a home game next week. So all the focus has to be, can they get a second win on the road and make going home that much sweeter? That's the intention in this ball game.
2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead them to 3rd down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Throw left side complete. That's Lamb. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. Tannehill and the Titans come up now 1st and 10 at their own 18. This drive starts out on the ground with Michel. Limited running room as he'll get about 3 to the 21. A look there at the starters on the defensive side of the ball. They were fantastic a week ago in the win over Houston.
I just consider myself fortunate that I'm not in charge of the offensive line. They gave up 7 sacks last week. And if things don't improve in this game, the head coach isn't going to be looking at the offensive line. He's going to be looking at the offensive line coach. And that's when things get dicey.
Check the out. Check the out. Check the out.
Off the draw, here's Michel. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll bring up a 3rd down. Throwing on 3rd down, Tannehill. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. They said there was a lot of discussion in their defensive team meeting room after last week's performance. They had 7 sacks. Something in the water. There's one in the first quarter.
A lot of discussion, a lot of excitement, because now everyone wants to get involved with this. Who's going to continue that process? Who's going to get to the quarterback this week? But they have to be careful. When you have that much pressure, they want to use it against you. Draws, screens, those types of plays.
Let's see if they do that. An 8-yard return there after a punt of 47. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And they'll certainly be trying to do better than that first drive where they went 3 and out.
And sometimes the first drive is just simply to settle nerves. You know what it's like at the start of a game with the emotion. Guys a little bit jumpy.
But you do.
Oh.
Got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown. A big play there. His 6th touchdown of the season as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. He put quite a bit of air underneath that touchdown pass. Of course, we knew that he had the strong arm.
That part was easy. You could see that throughout his college career. But what you want to know about a rookie is when the pressure's on, can you throw with touch? He just did right there. And, boy, it was pretty.
Graham Gano on for the extra point. It's up and good, and it'll give his guys a 7-0 lead. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Titans offense set to begin the drive. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
The numbers a week ago for Michel: 20 carries, 83 yards and a touchdown. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line.
And he's been a touchdown machine for this season. He's #1 in the league in rushing touchdowns. So that has to help the entire offense as a whole. Play action passes, other people have a chance to touch the football because if you're a defense, you absolutely have to key on him.
They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
So possession goes over here on the punt. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. They'll start with Hunt on the ground. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. On the defensive side, here are the starters for Tennessee. Well, they were very strong in that victory from a week ago.
I would have loved to have been in their meetings this week and hear that grizzled old defensive coordinator talk about, well, you did okay, guys. We did all right. Holding them to 13 was pretty good, but this week, I expected to be less than that.
I'm going to need to hear that a lot more often. I don't know what it was, but I liked it. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. They'll run with a backup. This is Williams. And he'll be upended after a gain of 5, up to the 25-yard line.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
On 3rd down, Hunt. And he's going to have the 1st down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. We should mention, to go along with a great game he had last week, he was rightfully named AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
And he shares that with his offensive line, the tight end, his fullback. He's looking for more and more of that in this game.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 14 yards into Chicago, 1st down. Last week, of course, the great performance, over 200 yards. He still wants to be fed.
And they should. That's exactly what you should do. I have not yet met a running back that's run for over 200 yards that says the very next week, hey, let's back things up.
I don't need it as much.
No, they want it more and more. They're going to be ready to go because they think that's going to happen naturally now.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. This is Hunt on the draw play. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 12 yards there and a 1st down.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. I believe that they've done that here in the 1st quarter.
Now, after the run by Hunt, here's 1st and 10. They're going to look to throw. And he completes it to Hunt. And he'll get nothing out of that one. No gain on the play there. It'll be 2nd down. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. On the run, this is Hunt. And he is going to get this close to the 1st down marker as he's brought down at the Titans' 29. This will be play number 8 here on the drive. It's 3rd and a yard. This is Hines. And he's able to pick up the 1st before he's taken down at the 27. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
Hey, Charlie. Check 54. Mike 54. Man, that's trash. That's trash. Go. 54 is Mike. 54 is Mike. Check, check. Watch 54. Watch 54. You can't block me. You can't block me. Hey, Foxtrot. Foxtrot. Shoot.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6. He's fresh off that 3-touchdown performance last week that got him AFC Offensive Player of the Week, so you know that he was already on their radar. Now he's maybe even a bigger plane on their radar.
Bigger plane. I mean, he is the big dot on that screen that they're looking at and saying, how in the heck do we stop him? They're going to try a bunch of different things, different people covering him, but right now he's locked in and is in sync with his quarterback.
Here we go.
That one good for 7 as this long drive continues and the chains move again. On the delay, here's Hunt. And they'll go backwards here, losing yardage to the 14. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's second down. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. 2nd and 11. Ebron caught left side. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down. Now back to throw. Well, the 2 men come together, and it's incomplete. Excellent work defensively, brings up 4th down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, as it turned out. Couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It's way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
So you're a boxing guy. How do you score that on your boxing card? A very long drive, but 3 points.
And I really want to do my boxing analyst voice right here, but I'm going to keep it normal for us, right? I call it a draw. That type of a drive has to feel good, right? You take it all the way downfield, you control the ball, control the clock. But they only got 3 points out of it. So defensively, it could have been worse, right? So I give it a draw.
Tennessee offense about set and ready to go. The results for them so far not that great. Well, not good at all. 3 drives, 3 punts.
Yeah, and now what you're doing is you're looking at your play sheet, trying to figure out what you're going against defensively. I wonder, are they showing them something they haven't seen or anticipated in practice, and maybe that's throwing them off? Or do they just have to go to a different play calling section and try and run some offense that way? Some think that teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
On second down now, Michelle. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play. And that'll force upon him a 3rd and 14. From the gun on third down, Tannehill. And he'll hit his tight end, Walker. And, he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down. So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they'll march off another 15 against your squad.
It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. A first carry for the Clemson man, Wayne Gallman. And he'll only get a yard to bring up 3rd and 1. Give him a yard on the run there, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 2. The Titans on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This time they face a 3rd and 2. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41.
I like the look that they just showed there. When you come out in a passing formation, spread things out a little bit, makes it really hard to cover the middle of the field, doesn't it? Because you've got to go out to the perimeter and cover those guys.
Yep, exactly. Got some good blocking, too. Helped him pick up the first. Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. From the gun, here's Tannehill.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
That one good for a pickup of 15 for Tennessee. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. To throw is Tannehill. And he's got the hook up to Moore. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. The Titans get 14 yards there and move the chains as well. The first red zone opportunity for the Titans. They have a 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. He was trying to get it to A.J. Brown that time, but it's going to be 2nd down.
Single receiver.
They'll run with Michelle. And this play goes nowhere, losing yardage back to the 15. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down. The Titans on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 11. Out of the gun, Tannehill. He gets it to Humphries. And a pretty nice tackle there, ranging up from his free safety spot as he'll stop him about a yard short. They'll get 11, but still a little short. 4th down. Seems as if the passing attack's starting to heat up a little bit here in the 2nd quarter.
You can sense and you can see the momentum because now they're reading their patterns downfield, they're understanding the coverages, and they're finding the open holes in the defense.
So they get the field goal, but that was a 14-play drive to get 3.
You sound like you're going negative on me.
I was.
Sounds like you're thinking the 3's just not that good.
And people say that we're negative sometimes. So.
Well, here's the deal. Getting the 3 is good. Obviously, you would think on a 14-play drive you're going to get 6 out of it. But that type of a drive can pay dividends later on because you might wear the defense down.
Kareem Hunt and the rest of the offense making their way back out there. He's over 40 yards here in the 2nd quarter. Been nice and effective for them, hasn't he?
He has definitely been dependable and really shouldn't underestimate what he's getting done here because anytime you're on a pace that's going to approach 100 yards, you've really done some damage in an NFL game.
And now he's looking just to add to his totals. Now the pass finding its way into the hands of Eric Ebron. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down. The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. They're looking at 3rd in the nose of the football. And he's got a 1st down as he's up to the 48. Got what they needed there. The drive continues with a 9-yard pickup.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
They'll run it here with Hunt. And it's a fumble. It's picked up by the Titans, and his guys will take over at their own 44-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
John Simon in on the stop.
Let's go.
Brings up 2nd and 8 at the 46-yard line.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Tannehill. And that's off the mark. Incomplete.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Malik Hooker.
And, Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively, not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you've got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete. Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. Forced out to his left. Our score 10-3 with 2 minutes remaining in quarter number 2. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. They'll drop the throw. And Pascal's got it. And a loose football. It's picked up by the Titans. And he'll bring this one back to the 29.
Whenever I see a team turn it over on back-to-back drives, fumbles on their last two, I know one person's blood pressure who is starting to rise, and that's the head coach.
Absolutely. And when's it going to go down? When they stop fumbling?
When they stop fumbling and after he's assessed the game film, and only if they manage to win the game.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. On 2nd and 10, Tannehill. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Mike Hilton. And he will score. Touchdown, Chicago.
That's what I'm talking about, boy. That's what I'm talking about.
So a pick six there out of the nickel package. They went with 5 DBs.
Almost becoming the base package in the NFL is the nickel. Hard to throw against. That was demonstrated one more time. A pick six going the other way.
Gano for the extra point. It's up and good, and that makes it 17-3. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Titans offense set to begin the drive. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. The Titans going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll run out of the gun with Michelle, and he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
That's to his running back, Sony Michel. Now Tennessee going to use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. From the 50, it's Tannehill. Got a man, it's Brown. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down. Well, this is how you shake the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4.
And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when who told me, I don't care if I throw 10 interceptions in a row. I'm going to stay confident, keep flinging it. I just figured there's something wrong with the football.
First down, Titans, gain of 12. Now a signal and a timeout call as it comes with 9 seconds to go in this first half of play. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. He hit his first one, this from 44 yards out now. And the 11-year veteran bangs it through. And a second field goal here gets him back within 11 now. It's 17-6. Well, not the best first half facing this deficit, but at least they did put 3 on the board before half.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that stormy, cloudy day, and the sun peeks through just for a second. They saw the sun there. They're hoping to see a little bit more of it in the second half.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
So we have reached halftime here in an 11-point contest. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. A lot to get to here as some of the division races starting to take shape as we look around the NFL here in week number 7. We'll start up at TIAA Stadium in Jacksonville, and it's the Jaguars who are out in front. D.D. Westbrook, a touchdown reception. Next, we'll stay right here in the Sunshine State, head down to Tampa, check on the Bucs, and they trail the visiting Lions in that one. Daniel Jones has thrown a touchdown pass. Finally, let's get you to Baltimore, check on the Ravens at home at M&T Bank Stadium. And that one, all even as they play the visiting Cleveland Browns. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can